Guys, so today I want to give you a very powerful tool that I've used in my own life to gain competence and thus confidence as quickly as possible. Now, what is the tool? Competition. It is something that is quite controversial nowadays, with the narrative going around of I'm only competing against myself, and the sort of the general belief that dominant masculinity is toxic masculinity, stuff like that. I thoroughly disagree. In my own life, right, I used to have no confidence at all. I was I was awful at everything. If I'm being absolutely honest with you, bro, I was awful at fucking everything. Um, and one fateful day, I had like two friends at the time. They decided they wanted to go play piano because that was something they did. So I'm glad no one else to talk to. I went and followed them around. Um, and I sort of just stood there as they were playing it, and I was feeling jealous, I was feeling envious, and I felt insecure because I couldn't do what they were doing. So what did I do? I asked one of them to teach me. Just like a little snippet of Für Elise, if you know what that is. It's a classical piece. And I became obsessed. That day I practiced at home for like 8 hours because I had this keyboard because I used to play. Um, yeah, and basically what I did is I became absolutely obsessed with overtaking one of my friends. It was the friend that taught me the bit of early, so it might seem a little bit fucked up, but that burning desire to become better than him, let me ascend to a grade 8 level, which is pretty much the highest you can get below diploma. That let me get to a grade 8 level in about half a year. Just for reference, it usually takes 10 years. Google told me that, so I don't know how accurate it is, but it usually takes about 10 years for kids to reach grade 8 level, and it took me 6 months. So let that register, it took me 6 months, 5% of the time, literally just because I was so hell-bent on beating him. So, competition, let's bring it back. Why is competition so important? Well, since caveman times, men have had to compete with other men for everything. For women, for status, for resources like food, clothes. They've had to compete for everything, and that was how they achieved abundance in their lives. Okay? So, as a result, it is hardwired into us, especially as men, it is hardwired into us to compete for things. And as a result, that is the very fastest way that I know of, at least, that is the very fastest way that we can grow in any area. Any man who is great at anything just worked his arse off to outcompete everyone around him. The difference between someone who embraces competition and someone who sort of runs away from it is you're either that guy who lives a very mediocre life, and fair enough, because you don't need to compete for survival. It's not a matter of survival anymore. It's just, what will you amount to? Those guys who, they see how competitive the modern day is, just as it has been for millions of years. They see how competitive it is, and they feel a bit scared, which is completely normal. That's a great thing, by the way. But upon feeling scared, they cower away from it a bit. They don't feel able to charge head on into that competition and embrace it. And so they're never really forced to change, to get that good at anything. They're not forced to make any real progress. Now, look at the guy who competed with everyone. These are the guys you see at the top, like Andrew Tate, Hamza. They obsessed about their competition and did everything in their power to beat them. They did everything in their power to take from them what it was that they had that they wanted. That sounded very confusing. So basically, what you want to do, the actionable step here is pick an area of your life that you want to improve in. For me, it was piano. For you, it can be whatever you want. A sport, schoolwork, maybe you're starting a YouTube channel, whatever you want. Pick an area you want to improve in. Find a person who is significantly better than you in that area. Someone who's found significantly more success in that area than you have already. but don't make them too far away. You know, for example, as a small YouTuber, I'm not going to say, okay, I'm going to beat Hamza, because that seems too lofty a goal for me to think of at the moment, and so it would just demoralize me. I would find someone with maybe 20,000 subscribers, and I will absolutely obsess about beating them. Okay, and because of our primal conditioning, that will light a fire under my ass. That will make me work 10 times harder than anything else could have. That will give me that sort of burning desire and burning obsession that is characteristic of all those people who achieved great things. Okay? You have to embrace competition. That dividing line between the people who run away from competition and the people who embrace it is, I think, one of the greatest, at least from what I can tell, one of the greatest determinants of where someone ends up. The people who are okay with mediocrity, the people who are living lives of mediocrity, are only there because they weren't forced to overcome and outcompete those people who are also lying in mediocrity. So, pick an area, pick a person, obsess about it, do everything in your power to beat them. Once you beat them, pick someone new. Repeat the cycle. Keep doing that until you reach the top. That is how you get good at anything you want. Use it, abuse it. It is amazing information. As soon as I started implementing this, my life skyrocketed. I hope it does the same for you. Yeah, that is all.